New York State adheres to the 2021 New York Building Code. Within the state, New York City operates under a slightly different system. The New York City Department of Buildings has adopted both the 2021 International Building Code, often abbreviated as IBC, and the 2021 Fire Code, frequently referred to as IFC. It is important to understand that these codes are not static. They are updated periodically to reflect advancements in building technology, materials science, and safety practices. The adoption of the 2021 IBC and 2021 IFC in New York City applies specifically to new building projects and any alterations made to existing structures. This means that any construction activity falling under these categories must comply with the latest regulations outlined in these codes. The effective date of these codes in New York City was April 28, 2022. Any projects initiated after this date are subject to the requirements stipulated in the 2021 IBC and 2021 IFC. It is crucial for architects, engineers, contractors, and other construction professionals working in New York City to familiarize themselves with the details of these codes to ensure compliance and avoid potential legal or financial repercussions. The International Building Code is a comprehensive set of regulations that governs various aspects of building design and construction. It addresses topics such as structural integrity, fire safety, accessibility, energy efficiency, and mechanical systems. The IBC provides detailed requirements for different types of buildings, occupancy classifications, and construction materials. It also references other industry standards and codes, such as those developed by the American Society for Testing and Materials, commonly known as ASTM, the American Concrete Institute, abbreviated as ACI, and the American Institute of Steel Construction, frequently shortened to AISC. The Fire Code, on the other hand, focuses specifically on fire safety aspects of buildings. It addresses topics such as fire prevention, fire detection, fire suppression, and emergency egress. The IFC outlines requirements for fire alarm systems, sprinkler systems, fire extinguishers, fire-resistant construction, and smoke control systems. It also specifies regulations for the storage and handling of hazardous materials. Both the IBC and the IFC are developed and maintained by the International Code Council, or ICE, a non-profit organization dedicated to developing model codes and standards used in the building industry. The ICC works with experts from various fields to ensure that its codes are up to date and reflect the latest knowledge and best practices. The adoption of the IBC and IFC by New York City signifies a commitment to ensuring the safety and well-being of its residents and visitors. By adhering to these codes, the city aims to minimize the risk of structural failures, fires, and other hazards. Furthermore, compliance with these codes can help to improve the energy efficiency and sustainability of buildings, reducing their environmental impact. It is important to note that the New York City Department of Buildings plays a critical role in enforcing the IBC and IFC. The department is responsible for reviewing building plans, issuing permits, conducting inspections, and taking enforcement actions against those who violate the codes. The department also provides educational resources and training programs to help construction professionals understand and comply with the codes. In addition to the IBC and IFC, New York City also has its own set of local building codes and regulations. These local codes may be more stringent than the IBC and IFC in certain areas, reflecting the unique challenges and conditions of the city. For example, New York City has specific requirements for the design and construction of high-rise buildings given the city's dense urban environment. These local codes are administered and enforced by the New York City Department of Buildings. The 2021 New York Building Code addresses a wide array of building-related aspects. Firstly, it covers administration and enforcement, establishing the legal framework for code compliance, permit procedures, and inspection processes. Secondly, it encompasses general definitions, clarifying the meaning of terms used throughout the code to ensure consistent interpretation. Thirdly, occupancy classification is addressed, categorizing buildings based on their intended use, such as residential, commercial, or industrial, which dictates specific requirements. Fourthly, there are regulations for building heights and areas, limiting the size of structures based on occupancy, construction type, and location to manage fire risk and density. Fifthly, the code covers types of construction, classifying buildings based on fire resistance and materials used, influencing allowable heights, areas, and fire protection measures. Sixthly, fire resistance rated construction is outlined, specifying requirements for walls, floors, and roofs to withstand fire for a certain duration, crucial for compartmentation and safe evacuation. Seventhly, the code details interior finishes, regulating the flammability and smoke generation of materials used on walls, ceilings, and floors to reduce fire spread and improve visibility during a fire. Eighthly, it also covers fire protection systems, mandating the installation of fire alarms, sprinkler systems, and standpipes in certain buildings to detect, suppress, and control fires. Ninthly, there are egress requirements, specifying the number, size, and arrangement of exits to ensure safe and efficient evacuation during emergencies. Tenthly, the code touches upon accessibility, ensuring that buildings are usable by people with disabilities, including requirements for ramps, elevators, and accessible restrooms. 11thly, it details interior environment considerations, including ventilation, lighting, and acoustics to promote occupant health and comfort. 12thly, the code addresses energy efficiency, setting standards for insulation, windows, and mechanical systems to reduce energy consumption. 13thly, exterior walls are covered, regulating the fire resistance and weather protection of exterior walls, including requirements for cladding and fenestration. 14thly, roof assemblies and rooftop structures are addressed, specifying requirements for roof coverings, drainage, and access to ensure structural integrity and prevent water damage. 15thly, the code also covers structural design, providing requirements for foundations, walls, floors, and roofs to withstand loads such as wind, snow, and seismic forces. 16thly, it deals with special inspections and testing, requiring independent verification of certain construction activities to ensure compliance with the code. 17thly, the code discusses soils and foundations, regulating site preparation, excavation, and foundation design to ensure stability and prevent settlement. 18thly, concrete is covered, specifying requirements for concrete materials, mixing, placement, and reinforcement to ensure durability and strength. 19thly, the code covers aluminum as well, regulating the design and construction of aluminum structures, including requirements for connections and corrosion protection. 20thly, the code details masonry, specifying requirements for masonry materials, construction, and reinforcement to ensure structural integrity and resistance to water penetration. 21st, it goes over steel, regulating the design and construction of steel structures, including requirements for connections, welding, and fire protection. 22nd, wood is also covered, specifying requirements for wood materials, construction, and fire protection to ensure structural integrity and prevent decay. 23rd, the code discusses glass and glazing, regulating the type, thickness, and installation of glass to ensure safety and resistance to wind and impact. 24th, gypsum board and plaster are covered, specifying requirements for gypsum board and plaster materials, installation, and fire resistance. 25th, it details plastic as well, regulating the use of plastic materials in building construction, including requirements for fire resistance and structural performance. 26th, plumbing systems are addressed, specifying requirements for water supply, drainage, and venting to ensure sanitation and prevent waterborne diseases. 27th, the code covers mechanical systems, regulating the installation and operation of heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems to ensure energy efficiency and indoor air quality. 28th, electrical systems are addressed, specifying requirements for wiring equipment and safety devices to prevent electrical shocks and fires. 29, it discusses elevators and conveying systems, regulating the design, installation, and operation of elevators, escalators, and other conveying systems to ensure safety and accessibility. 30th, special construction details are outlined, addressing unique building elements such as swimming pools, membrane structures, and temporary structures. 31st, demolition and alterations are covered, regulating the safe demolition of buildings and the alteration of existing structures to ensure compliance with the code. 32nd, reference standards are specified, listing the standards and codes that are referenced throughout the code, such as those developed by the American Society for Testing and Materials, the American Concrete Institute, and the American Institute of Steel Construction.